little more, a little more, a little more, a little more. Good day, everyone. Curtis here.
So we had a very special guest come and visit us last week. Adam Savage was here in Australia for the Supernova convention. We did reach out to him to see if we could go and meet him, but it turned out he came to our workshop and spent a couple of hours with us. We have Adam Savage himself.
I can't believe I'm in here. Everything, even just the sound of you pulling this out is like, I got nostalgic about it because it's every video opening. I know, it's ridiculous. Just the
forklift.
The beeping of your forklift, but it's like the opening of every video.
Yeah.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Everything's a little closer than I thought it would be.
It is, yeah. It looks very different.
Totally.
Very different on film.
No, I had no idea what layout was.
So that was an incredible opportunity. I did get to show him around through the workshop, show him a few of the things of what we do. We also had lunch with him, and I also showed him some equipment we have in storage. So that was an amazing experience to meet someone that I have been watching for years on YouTube and on television. We know a lot of you would have loved to have seen a collaboration video between us, but that was not the intention of the visit. He did take the time out of his business trip to come see us, and hopefully one day we will do a video together. So thank you very much, Adam, for taking the time out of your trip to come and hang out with us. We really enjoyed the experience, and we hope you did too. Now we're going to get started on our job. Today's job, we're going to be making two mounts for our Sur Mechanica line boring machines, and this will allow us to utilize the welding feature for internal and external welding without me physically standing there and doing it. This is going to be a massive time saver for me, where I can set this up, set it to weld, and go and do something else. It's going to be perfect for jobs like large cylinder rods and barrels that need eye reclaims, and also doing the pins on our strut caps. So the first thing I'm going to get started with is the mount that the line borer goes onto. And what we're going to be using is a piece of 1045 hollow bar. It has a 110mm OD by 60mm ID. So we're going to get that cut to size in the saw. Now with those cut, we're going to take them over to the lathe and start machining. So what we're going to do is machine down the OD just to clean it up, then we're going to face the end and bore out the ID to 70mm. The overall ID is not super critical at the moment, it is only just to reduce some weight. that done, we're going to flip it around so we can machine the OD for the mount on the line borer. The finish OD we're aiming for is 90mm, so I'm going to rough it down to within a mil, and then I'll do a finish cut. Now we're going to chamfer these two edges and then counterbore this end for the bearing. We're going to be using our usual FAG 6208 bearings, and I'm going to counterbore a diameter of 80mm, 25mm deep. we'll go. Now we've got that cut to size, we can cut the snap ring groove, and that is there to retain the bearing so it doesn't fall out. That's it for this piece for now. Now we're going to get the second one up to the same stage. So that's those two parts machined up to this stage. Now we're going to get everything fitted and welded together. We are making 2 different size mounts. One will be for smaller jobs and one will be for larger jobs. The plate we're using for the mount is 250 grade mild steel. It is 16mm thick. We've had them laser cut by our local supplier. I just need to give the edges a quick clean up with the grinder. So this main plate is what the line borer is going to be attached to. So we're going to get this squared up and tacked in position. Now I'm going to tack on some gussets and they're just going to help stabilise it. Now we've got the smaller mount tacked together, we're going to tack together the large mount. Before we weld these out, we're going to tack on these plates to the support mounts. These are purely going to be for making the setup of the line borer much easier. With those welded, I can finish welding out the mounts. The wire I'm using is ER70S6 in a 0.9. I'm going to be backing that up with Argo Shield Universal, running that at about 27 volts and 9 meters of wire a minute. Now we're waiting for those to cool down, we can finish machining the support mounts. And all I need to do is bore it out and cut a snap ring groove for our last bearing. The reason I didn't do this before I welded it is after you weld something, the amount of heat input can distort the part and the bearing might not fit. So by finish machining it after it's been welded, I can avoid that problem. That's this one done. We're going to get the other one finished as well. Righto guys, so that's these parts completed. The next thing I need to do is fit the bearings and the snap rings, but I'm only going to be fitting them into one because I will be needing to pull them apart and send them away to be tough trided. So we're just going to fit them to one so we can do a demo and a test.
Oh, okay.
So that was a nice neat fit, went together with no dramas. Now we can finish setting up the mount so we can get the line borer fitted and give this a test run. So our line borer fits perfectly onto our mount. Now I'm going to undo this bolt so it can be tilted up into its vertical welding position.
Heyo. Where's the bin chickens? What's that? Over there. Who's there? Okay.
Righto guys, so I'm really happy with how this has turned out so far. We've designed it in such a way that we have 600mm of clearance between the table and the base of the mount. And we've also got enough space for a job 600mm in diameter, and that's about as big as everything we've run into so far. So the next thing we're going to do is set up a job so we can test it. And the job we're going to be using these on is to reclaim the pins on some 777 front strut caps. So we've actually got 3 of these to do, and I've already gone ahead and machined down the pin, ready for the new weld layer. So we're going to get our first one set up and centered with the ball welder. Because the pins already have a hole drilled in the center of them, I've modified the end of one of my boring bars so it's easy to find center of the job. So that's centered up now. That's as easy as it needs to be. There is no reason to be millimeter accurate because we are just putting on a new weld layer and then it will be remachined in the lathe. Because we've got 2 more of these to do, I'm going to use some 1, 2, 3 blocks and some toe clamps in order to create some hard stops. That way, once this one's done, I can slide it out, set up the new one, push it up against the hard stops, and we can start welding again.
gonna reach.
So we're all set up, now we can start welding. There we go. Because of my experience with the Serv Mechanica machines and doing these sorts of jobs, I do have a pretty good idea on the feed rate and the rotation speed, but as we're welding, I will keep an eye on the first couple of layers and make fine adjustments to dial it in and get it layering perfectly. And I've also got my welder set at the exact parameters I use for bore welding. The welding wire is ER70S6 in a 0.9. I'll be backing that up with Argo Shield Universal Gas and running it at 18 volts and 4 meters of wire a minute. Because I'm running this vertical, I don't want to run it at any higher volts or any hotter because gravity would take over and the material wouldn't get time to solidify and it would basically just rip off the job. So we've got that dialed in. For this 80mm diameter, the rotation speed is set at 1 and the feed rate is at 20. If this was a larger diameter, the only setting I would change would be my feed rate. Righto guys, so that was a very successful first test of our new mount. The layering is absolutely perfect and it went on with no dramas at all, or I would usually be sitting at the rotator propped in one position for 1 hour straight and it does get very uncomfortable. So with this one done, we're going to get it out of the way because we've still got 2 more to do.
That's it. Ready.
So something that does happen when you are welding, you do end up with spatter getting gummed up inside the shroud. So in between every job, I will clean out the shroud and apply some ceramic spray so I have trouble-free welding. So for anyone who's wondering why I use side cutters for cleaning out these shrouds, is the Tweco or the welding pliers that you buy don't actually have the right shape to get down inside the shroud to clean them up. Because I use Bernard centerfire, the angles are not quite right. A set of side cutters works much better. That's why. Ready? Righto guys, so that's all of our strut caps welded. I'm really happy with how the weld layer has been applied. Everything is nice and even and uniform. Once these cool down, we'll be able to machine them back to spec. So this is a definite upgrade for our business. This will allow me to get another job set up or something else organized while this is welding. And this is going to be a great way for us to enhance what the line borers are capable of doing with the welding process, which will not only be a benefit for us, but it will be a saving for our customers. But a quick breakdown on the cost to build both of these. We had $500 in plate, about $50 in hollow bar. The bearings were $20 each. The snap rings were about 10 bucks, and we repurposed the bolts from a previous machine that we scrapped. So all up, it cost about $640 and less than 3 hours work to put these together. Something else I still want to do when I don't have jobs lined up for these is send out the bearing mounts for the Tough Tried treatment. I'm also going to be painting the stands in our cutting edge blue. That's not going to change the way they function, but it's just going to make them look a lot nicer and match up with the rest of our workshop projects. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this workshop project. Thanks for watching. While Adam was here, he also gave us a couple of goodies. So today we're going to see how many demerit badges we can earn. I've already done that.
Curtis has done that one.
Yeah.
This one. You have earned this.
I did that to earn this. Right, you ready? Pretty sure I got this. Righto guys, so that's our... Oh, fuck.
Oh, wow.
So the first thing we're going to get started with is... Oh, can't get this out. So by finish machining it after it's welding, because the pins already have a drill... Because I'm welding vertically, if... wait.
What?
What? And I've also got my welder set for the exact
And I've also got the
I
welder.
got it. I just fucked up parameters. The P was hard. The P was hard. And what we're going to... You're right?
Which not only benefits us, but also will benefit our customer.
Right. Which also will... which will also not... Oh, what? What?
Which will not only...
Oh, right. Right. Which will not only save time for us, but it will all... Oh, fuck.
Which
man.
will not only be a benefit for us.
Right. Which will also not... What?
Holy moly.
What?
Which will not only...
Oh, right. Right. Okay, stop.
Right?
Heavy and slippery. Try again. I don't want to do it like that. Are you ready? They're fucking slippery.
How do you want to do this? Take one. Can you even lift it? Or should they have been standing up?
You just can't get a
This
grip
is
around.
awkward. Oh, jeez, hang on.
I've got a pretty good idea on what...
Look at Homie!